Here is the most perfect, juicy, and flavorful Thanksgiving turkey and holiday gravy you will ever have. I'm going to show you how to make it step by step, and I'll show you how to get a golden brown, perfectly cooked holiday turkey. And you're going to be making your Thanksgiving turkey this way every single year, and for a very good reason. It's easy and doesn't require any extra steps. Welcome back. I'm Jill with the CarefreeKitchen.com, and today I am so excited to share this recipe with you. This is my Thanksgiving turkey recipe. I'm going to show you how to do an herb butter method, and I'll show you how to make this compound butter that goes under the skin of the turkey and will self-baste. And then you use the same butter to smother all over your turkey to get that golden brown, crispy skin, juicy turkey that we all love. There's no need to hover over your turkey for 4 hours while it cooks. So follow along and let's go. Here's what you need to get started. Okay, so for our ingredients, I have butter and I need about 1 cup. Then I have some sea salt here, some black pepper, and then I have some thyme, some rosemary, some sage, onion powder and garlic powder, and this is what I will be using to make kind of a compound butter for my turkey. And then inside my turkey, I like to put an apple. This makes it super sweet. And remember, when you're putting things in your turkey, you're creating a profile for gravy too. So I have a lemon, 2 onions, some garlic, carrots, and then a little bit of celery. And then I have just a turkey here. And I have a 13-pound turkey. For the tools that you need to get started, this is my roasting pan that I like to use, and it's helpful if you have a tray that comes that you can lift your turkey out. I also have a digital thermometer with an internal probe, and this is perfect for cooking a whole turkey. You can put this in and then keep an eye on how it's going without even opening the oven door. Before I prep my turkey, I like to spray the inside of my sink and scour it with some kind of a bleach cleaner before I prepare my turkey. And then I like to thaw my turkey in the refrigerator on a large baking sheet for several days before I need it. Also, as a reminder, give yourself a couple days buffer. You can always have a thawed turkey in your fridge for a couple days, but you need to be sure that your turkey is thawed before you prepare it. I like to just cut off the packaging and leave it in the sink. And I like to add a bag to the sink and then just pull all the wrappings of my turkey off of my turkey and then place it right in there so I'm not dripping it all over my countertop. And you can definitely save the giblets or the neck and make some turkey broth ahead of time, or put it into your turkey stock that you're going to make after Thanksgiving dinner if you want to make some soup or whatever out of it. But today, this tutorial is just how to make a whole turkey, so I'll save that one for a different video. And I also like to rinse my turkey, and I know that's like a little bit controversial, but if I'm doing it right in my sink, I like to just rinse off the top, rinse out the inside, and then you can just pick it up by the legs and empty your baking dish from all those juices, and then just set your turkey back down there. I have a chart here to help you know how far in advance you need to thaw your turkey. It is safest to thaw it in your fridge for a couple days before your turkey feast. You can use a cold water method to thaw your turkey also. It is a quicker thawing method. I like to add a bag to the sink and then pull all of my wrapping off of my turkey and then place it right into my bag so I'm not dripping the turkey juices all over the kitchen. Then it is also easy to bleach my sink again when I'm all finished. So back to prepping my turkey. Just pick my turkey right up off of the baking dish and put it into the roasting pan. I just set it right there by my kitchen sink, tie it, and then I can throw that away. While I'm preparing the rest of my turkey, we are going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. And we're going to start off with a really hot oven, and then when I put it in, I'm going to bring the temperature down. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to make a compound butter, and I like to make this butter and put all of the seasonings and the herbs in it. And this is actually something I learned from Gordon Ramsay. He is so good at making his turkey. Mine is a little bit different than his, but he also has a great YouTube video on how to make a whole roasted turkey. So I'm going to make my compound butter, and I like to use fresh herbs here, and I like to use rosemary and thyme and sage. And turkey breast is a pretty delicate tasting meat, so I don't want to use anything that's overpowering. To my bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup of butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, and I like to use the sea salt, and then garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And then I'm going to add the herbs to just add all of that flavor. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of rosemary. And then I'll just use my big knife here and chop that right up until it's really finely minced. I'm also going to dice up a half teaspoon of sage, and I only need about a half tablespoon, so I'll just discard the rest. Now I'm going to do the same to my thyme, and thyme is just such a great pairing for a turkey breast recipe. And you can just use the back of a spoon and kind of mash and cream this together, and you just want it to all be combined without any chunks of any seasoning, so it all gets the flavors all over. Next, I'm going to prep my vegetables for my turkey, and I like to add carrots and onions, and I'm going to add some lemon, a fresh lemon, and then also something that my mom does, which I totally love, and I feel like it makes the gravy just like really sweet and has a ton of flavor, is I like to add an apple. So I'm going to prep all of my vegetables. I do like to peel my carrots. It makes everything just like pretty like bright and beautiful. And if there's a time to worry about presentation, it's when you're making a whole roasted turkey. So I'm going to prep my carrots and then cut them into about 2-inch chunks. I'm going to do the same for my celery. And then for my apples, I'm just going to quarter it and then take the core off of the middle. And then for my onions, I like to cut my onions in half and then cut the ends off, peel it, and then I can cut it into like 3 or 4 sections. And I'm going to use some paper towels and I'm going to pat the turkey down to remove some of the excess moisture. And this will help all of the seasonings adhere to the turkey just a little bit better. So when you're adding all of these vegetables and fruit to your turkey, I'm going to add it to the inside of the turkey. And this is just going to create like this very aromatic, wonderful flavor. And then also those juices will drip down into my drippings, and that is what we are going to make the gravy. Now I'm going to add my herb butter to my turkey. And after you've stuffed it, you can just lift up the skin there and just run your hand underneath the skin and be kind of gentle. You don't want to rip that skin, but you want to kind of go as far in on the turkey breast as possible so that you can cover that whole turkey breast in the herb butter. And I'm going to use about half of my butter inside the turkey, so approximately 1/4 cup on each turkey breast. And once I get that in there, I can just mash on the top to kind of like smooth that out, and you want the skin to be nice and smooth. So as it cooks, it's just going to be like all melty and drippy down inside all of your turkey breast. I mean, it really is such a yummy, yummy turkey breast. This is the best Thanksgiving gravy. It has all of those herbs and seasonings and like that butter, and it is just so delicious. What you're looking for here is to have a thin coating of the herb butter all over your turkey. I try and get a thin coating of butter on the drumsticks, the wings, the thigh, and then of course on top of the turkey breast. And this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to add the rest of these carrots, onions, celery, apple, and lemons to the outside of my turkey, and they will just cook and give it even more flavor to the drippings. And one more thing I like to do before I bake my turkey, I like to pour in 2 cups of turkey broth, or chicken broth works great here too. And then now is the time to add my thermometer. I'm going to add my thermometer to the thickest part of the turkey breast. This way I can monitor the internal temperature of my meat while my turkey's cooking without opening the oven. If you want to prepare your turkey up to this point the day before, you can. Just make sure that when you are ready to cook your turkey, you take it out of the oven and let it sit just on the counter for about 60 to 90 minutes to take the chill off before you cook it. And that way your turkey will cook much more evenly. I like to cover my turkey with aluminum foil, and I like to just lay 2 sheets of aluminum foil on my counter, and then I like to just roll the center of them together, and then I'm going to lightly tint my turkey. You don't want to like mash it down. You want it to just lay on it really loosely, and this will keep the turkey skin from browning too early. Now you can put your turkey in a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and as soon as you put it in the oven, you're going to adjust the temperature down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The most important thing you want to watch here is the temperature of your meat thermometer. It will give you the best indication of how your turkey is cooking. When it reaches 160 degrees, you can just take your foil off and check the color of the skin. If it's already golden brown, then just leave the foil on. But if it needs to brown up a little bit, then you can take the foil off and cook it the last 5 degrees with the foil off. Here is this gorgeous Thanksgiving turkey. It is so perfect for your Thanksgiving dinner or your Christmas dinner or any family gathering. Once you've taken the turkey out of the oven, you need to let it sit for about 30 minutes, and you can take it out of your pan and just let it sit on the platter on a large baking sheet. This is a great time to make your turkey gravy, but when you are letting your turkey rest, you want to keep the aluminum foil on. This will help all of the juices redistribute and the meat to be even more juicy. You need to decide how you want to serve your turkey. You can serve it whole on a platter if you're going for that quintessential holiday turkey vibe. This is definitely the most beautiful way to present your turkey. But if you have a big group, I recommend cutting your turkey up so that no one has to stand and carve the turkey with the group. It is harder to serve that way, and it's a little bit easier if you just cut it up. I'll show you how easy it is to cut up your turkey and how to get that dark meat and also the light meat. While your turkey is resting, here is how to make the homemade turkey gravy from drippings. So it's best to strain your drippings so you don't have any chunks in there. And there's also this fancy drippings container you can use to keep all the fat on top and then drain the broth on the bottom. But to be honest, unless you have a lot of fat on top, it's going to taste really yummy in your gravy. Remember, along this process, if you ever get really clumpy gravy, you can always blend it. If you're going to blend it, I like to add a couple of those chunks of onions to my gravy, and it just gives it so much flavor. Take your drippings and put it into a measuring cup. Now you are going to add enough chicken broth to your drippings to equal 3 cups. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of butter to your saucepan and then 1/4 cup of flour to your pan. And you're going to melt your butter and whisk the flour together to create a roux. Now you're going to slowly add your turkey drippings to the roux and bring that to a boil and stir it with a whisk for 1 minute. Now you can add your drippings. If you are wondering how much gravy to make for everyone, I like to count on about a 1/2 cup of gravy per person. So with 3 cups of drippings, this is going to serve about 6 people. So depending on how many people you have at your holiday dinner, you may need to add more chicken stock or double your recipe. So you're going to bring your gravy to a boil and you're going to whisk this. And at this point, you will need to taste your gravy and add more flavorings if you are making more gravy. You can add a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper, then taste it again. And you can add more of those flavorings if you need extra seasonings. And then if you need your gravy to be thickened, what I like to do is I add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch to a small bowl and then about 1/4 of a cup of water. It doesn't have to be exact. And be sure it's cold. And so stir it as you're adding the water. And then as soon as that cornstarch slurry is smooth, you can slowly add your cornstarch slurry while you're whisking your turkey gravy. As long as you boil it for about a minute, you'll know about how thick it is. So if you don't need to thicken your gravy, then go ahead. But if you need to thicken it a little bit, the cornstarch slurry is the way to go. When you turn your spoon over, you should be able to lift it up and wipe your finger. That way you'll be able to see how thick your gravy is. You want it to slowly drip down. So if it's too thin, then you might need to add a little bit more cornstarch and water. Also remember that your gravy will become thicker as it cools. Now you can place your entire turkey on that platter to serve it and then cut it off the bone. Or to cut it up, here is how you do it. Once your turkey is cool enough to handle with your bare hand, you are ready to cut up the turkey. What I like to do is take the turkey and put it onto a cutting board, and then I'm just going to use my knife and kind of slide and wiggle it down until I get it into the joint. And you can just kind of pop that off, and your thigh with your drumstick will just pop right off. So I'm just going to cut that skin around and then lay my thigh on the cutting board, and you can again put your knife between the drumstick and the thigh and just pop it off, and then you have this beautiful drumstick. And then for the breast, what I like to do is, again, I like to use my knife and just go on either side of the breastbone and go as close to the breastbone as I can and cut down the edge there. And you will know when you can work with your turkey, when you can like touch it with your hands. If it's too hot, then it probably needs to sit for just a few more minutes so your juices can redistribute. So I'm going to take my turkey breast and lay it on my cutting board, and then I like to keep that crispy skin on. I just think it is so pretty. And I'm going to cut it in about 3/4 or 1-inch slices. And this turkey bone is so delicious. I mean, it still has so much flavor and so much meat. So you can pick the meat off of the bone. If you think you have enough to serve, then you can come and pick the meat off the bone after you serve your meal. But you can also make a really easy turkey stock. I have a recipe for that on my website as well. And that makes the most delicious soup. I have a turkey and wild rice soup on my website that is so delicious and easy to make after the holidays too. I also have a recipe for an herb-crusted turkey breast if you need additional turkey for your holiday meal. And then for the thigh meat, I like to just use my knife as a guide and go around that thigh bone. And then you have all the nice juicy dark meat, which is so many people's favorite. And then I just lay it over so it has a skin, and then I'm going to cut it up into about 3/4 or 1-inch slices. And I'm just going to lay those both onto the platter, and it looks so beautiful. This herb roasted Thanksgiving turkey recipe is a super simple, packed full of flavor and incredibly juicy turkey recipe, even without the brining, and it's perfect for beginners or seasoned cooks alike. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Carefree Kitchen. I hope this helped you on your journey to making a whole roasted Thanksgiving turkey. This herb crusted, herb infused, flavorful turkey is a hit at every holiday gathering, so I hope your family loves it as much as we do. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me here, and I'll show you more fun and easy holiday recipes that you can share with your family and loved ones. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.